This year, when did you notice that the Christmas season had begun? Perhaps when you first heard a Christmas tune sung, or you smelt the waft of the Greggs festive bake, or you realised the sky is now dark most of the time you're awake. Perhaps last weekend's Christmas lights and snowy scenes. For me, it was November the 1st, straight after Halloween. Christmas hadn't even crossed my mind, until I heard an advert on Metro Radio, Starbucks announcing that it was time. Winter is here, so say goodbye to autumn leaves and pumpkin spice. The ad caught my attention for this reason. Finish with the words, it's IRL season. IRL means in real life, in person. The phrase was born during COVID because at that time when most of life was lived online, IRL was needed in order to define that when I say we're going to meet, I don't mean on Zoom. Finally, we'll be in the same room in real life. Let's meet IRL and not on the phone. IRL was a phrase with a glimmer of hope that one day we'll no longer be locked down at home. One day we'll no longer be socially distant, but close. Christmas 2020. Remember it well? It's the year of the stories that we tell and retell of when we couldn't even see family IRL. And the rest of the time, some of us couldn't care less. Relationships are hard and broken and a stress. But even though our family might be a mess, we still really miss them when Boris cancelled Christmas. Brothers, aunts, friends, we want the real deal, to be in each other's homes and share a proper meal. And I mean, sure, it's not COVID secure, but for reunions and presents and carols and lights and celebrations and drinks late into the night, we've got to be together in person, right? In person. In person. When Starbucks said it's IRL season, I think they are spot on, but for a different reason. Beneath the family rows and the festive fuss, Christmas celebrates God in person, aka Jesus. Now, don't tune out just because I mentioned the big man. I get it, okay? I understand, because sometimes we like to keep God out of sight. We think, what has he ever done for me? And is he even there? And if he is, does he care? Well, give me a moment just to share. Because if this old nativity story is true, it's far from boring. This mind-blowing idea that the God who made everything came IRL as a person who could see, hear, taste, touch, smell, a physical human living a real life. Jesus knew pain and depression and family strife. From parties and friends to injustice and death. God knows firsthand just how complex life gets. But here's the question, what does that all mean? If God became human, how does that affect me? Well, the world is broken and dark, don't you agree? Most days life feels like it's not as it should be. And I think if we're honest, we'll confess that our own hearts are a bit of a mess. We are hurt people who are hurting people, the blind leading the blind. And either we're giving God a piece of our mind or we are ignoring him completely and turning away. Yet Jesus' story makes it clear that despite our sin and our mess, God wants to be near. God could stay distant and leave us be. He could have nothing to do with people like me, but he loves us so much that instead he stepped into the pages of history, into the dark chaos of life. Jesus breaks in like a piercing light. He does not stay away. He comes close to heal, to rescue, transform, reveal that God really is there and he really does care and he loves you so, so, so much more than you know. There is more to his story for us to discover, but for now I just wanted to cover that this incredible promise of Christmas is that God really is with us. So can I invite you to do two things by New Year? One, get honest with God. And two, ask him to come near. That's the reason why we all celebrate here, and we sing it in the carol loud and clear. Veiled in flesh, the Godhead see. Hail the incarnate deity, pleased as man with man to dwell. Jesus, God IRL.